and welcome to another edition of Southern Nevada Sports News. Welcome to my co-host, as usual, show number 4 now, doing pretty well, Jeff Balco Belknap.
What's up, Ozzy?
Welcome, mate.
How you doing?
You're looking sharp.
Yes.
You had a trim?
I did. Got a trim. You know, when I trimmed it off, it actually changed color a little bit. So,
yeah, I was going to say, looking very sharp.
And then the beard, of course. You know, Movember going on right now, and I'm going to let it roll for about a month or so.
So tell us where you got the haircut, Belco.
The Body Spa
Body
is the
Spa?
spot. Kimberly does a great job over there. You know, she does us both up.
Yeah.
You know, make sure that we're looking nice and tight for the show. So thank you, Kimberly.
Thanks
And
very much, Kimberly.
Always looking
Appreciate
out for
it.
us.
I actually bumped into you when we were there, so...
Yes,
So that
you
was
did,
good.
buddy.
As usual, guys, absolute smorgasbord of sports to get through. Football, basketball, UFC, ice hockey. We're covering everything at the moment. So looking forward to it. Obviously, baseball finished up last week, and we had Jim Gemmer on from the Vegas 51s.
Yep.
So it's time to move into the fall sports now. Before we do, though, just want to have a quick shout out to the UNLV Rebels for arranging our media pass for us, which is fantastic. I really appreciate that, guys. So
Go UNLV.
you're going to be seeing our ugly heads at Thomas and Mack a lot now. So
it's fantastic.
So looking forward to it. So
well, not only Thomas and Mack though, because they agreed to give us the golf pass,
yep,
the baseball pass when that comes around,
yep.
the basketball pass. I mean, so we basically have an open door here. I'm really looking forward to doing some UNLV sports. It's gonna
Fantastic.
be fun.
And as most of our viewers know, but just to reiterate, we're a Vegas-based show, and we want to pump up Vegas athletes. That's basically what we're here for, whether they be prep athletes or already in college or even pro athletes. But from Vegas is our main focus, isn't it? So,
That's right.
So thanks very much to the Rebels. And they actually kick off their season tomorrow. The boys tomorrow night against Cal Poly at home at Thomas and Mack. And then Saturday, the girls play against Southern Utah.
That's right.
At 3 p.m. So 2 Thomas and Mack games to kick it off. So we'll see all you guys down there. Now, the men had an exhibition game last Friday, and they won that game comfortably by about 40 points. So looking forward to a massive basketball season coming up.
Well, I mean, they finally got a 7-footer in the center, so that's huge. You know, a guy from UNLV, which is even better because you know, we love pumping up the prep guys. You know, to have just the talent that's going to be on this squad this year. Really looking forward to a good year. Dave Wright's always bringing it, so just, you know, hoping that he can put it together and, you know, get us into the tourney.
We'll stay with basketball, move on to a bit of NBA. So the Warriors off to an absolute flyer.
Yep.
We had a look at some stats today, didn't we? So there's only been 2 teams in the history of basketball that have got off to a better start than the Warriors. So they're going to Minnesota tonight. And Steph Curry, the Splash Brothers, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, just dominating it. They've obviously impressed everyone so far.
Man, it's like he's throwing the ball into a hula hoop. You know, every time he lines up for the ball, I mean, a shot, it's just like, I don't know, did you possibly see the shot that he threw up from about half court?
Yeah, I did.
When I first saw the shot, I actually thought that maybe the clock was expiring. But then when I watched it the second time, I actually saw the shot clock and saw that there was still 19 seconds left on it. I was like, man, why did he throw that up? But I think that his confidence is to the level where he just kind of knows that it's going in. He's been doing a lot of videos before the games. Like we were watching him, you know, do with his ball handling practice warm-ups. But I saw one yesterday also from the tunnel. He actually was from the tunnel. This thing had to be at least 50 feet away. He threw it up, and it was like, as soon as he threw it up, you knew it was going in. You know, I mean, he's just an explosive player. He's fun to watch. Good Christian background. I have a lot of respect for the guy. You know, he's just a good guy. Of course, his dad played in the NBA for Charlotte back in the day, Del Curry. Great to see a family like that just kind of go through the adversity that it takes, you know, to get to the next level, push his son through it, and actually his son's a premier player in the league.
And they've got a long way to go to match the Bulls of 1995, 1996, 72-10. Can they do it?
72, man. Well, I mean, the difference with that team is, you know, Rodman and Scottie Pippen, of course, Jordan. Absolutely just pure dominance. You know, you see a 72-10 record and you think, wow, that's awesome. They did a great job. But they would literally blow teams out. I mean, it was like on a nightly basis they're blowing teams out. Kind of similar to what the Warriors are doing right now. You know, they've already won a couple games by 20-plus. Steph Curry, you know, has put up 50 a couple of times already and then the high 40s a couple of times. A lot to be done, a lot of season left. You never know.
So it is getting a little bit chilly. I talk Celsius, so we're going to have to do the conversions. But it was about 14 degrees Celsius yesterday in Vegas.
Yep.
I was wearing a beanie and a jacket, and so ice hockey started. So talk us through the rumor at the moment. There's a lot of rumor about the Phoenix team potentially moving to Vegas. Have you heard much about that, and what are your thoughts?
Actually, we have heard a lot about that, from pretty reliable sources that might happen. Of course, the NHL is still shooting for, their own team, the expansion for the Vegas. So we're going to see what happens with the expansion. If they do get shut down, I know that there's other options. Of course, they're building a beautiful facility behind the MGM. It's going to be developed for some sort of professional sports, but I've actually talked to the MGM about that facility. And surprisingly enough, it's literally almost sold out even before it opened.
Wow.
Which just shows you like what happens in Vegas. I mean, there's this, constantly stuff going on. To bring a professional team here would be huge. For Vegas to get behind hockey team might be tough. But the advantage that they do have is that a lot of people have moved here from somewhere. I personally am originally from Detroit. With the Red Wings come here, that's a guarantee. I'm going to be heading down there. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. State-of-the-art facility. Why not?
Yeah. And I think, for me, I've been here for 3 months. And it would be fantastic for a professional league team to be here. Whether it's MLB, whether it's NFL, whatever it might be. It'd be great to see the hockey do really well. And then potentially, in the future, maybe 10, 20 years, we can see another big code coming in and doing really well. Now, one sport we haven't had a chance to talk about. Now, I'm only going to spend a couple of minutes on this. But
okay. There we go.
Now we know that we lost the rugby 2 Saturdays ago, but we've quickly jumped back on top and smashed the Kiwis in the first test at the Gabba. So we won by 208 runs. Now, a lot of people probably don't know what I'm talking about, but
take the over 208.
But absolutely demolish them. In baseball terms, it's basically like winning pretty much in double-figure runs. So it was basically a 12-2 result or something like that. So we won by 208 runs. First test has been run and won. Spit it out. And we're up 1-0, and then they play at the Wacker today. So you must like the Aussie names, the Gabba and the Wacker. So the Gabba's actually Wollongabba, which is the suburb that the stadium's in Brisbane. Okay. And the Wacker is the Western Australian Cricket Association. That's why it's called the Wacker. So
because you guys abbreviate everything.
Exactly. Everything
just abbreviate, throw a Y in the end, you got it.
Exactly. So
we had a great lunch at this Evo.
The Savo.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. This afternoon, whatever.
Now we had a jam-packed show last week, so we didn't get too much chance to talk about the first college rankings of the year, which came out last Tuesday, didn't they? Now I know you're pretty passionate about this, Jeff, and you've got a couple of ideas of potentially stretching it to 8. Tell me what you think on the current rankings and what you would do.
Well, I think it's got to be at least 8 in order to really get the top teams. Basically, the way it breaks down now is there's a committee that picks the games. I believe it's a biased committee. SEC gets picked every single time. They first set of 4 that they came out had 2 SEC teams in it. Obviously, they played last week. Now there's 1. I just have this sneaky suspicion that there'll be another 1 or 2 by the time this ends. I don't see them knocking out Alabama. They just...
love Alabama.
They love Alabama. Love Alabama. So it gets kind of annoying on a daily basis, if you're not an SEC fan. But if you are, I'm sorry.
So what improvements could you make? It's very difficult when there's so many conferences, so many teams across a massive country. You would never see it in Australian sport. It will be the top 8, and they'll play quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals.
Well, I think
what do you think they should do?
Yeah, I think the best thing they could do is bring it to 8. Actually, have a couple of games, more to give it like a smaller school the opportunity. We know that a smaller school can win the big games. We saw Boise State do it several years ago against Oklahoma, and a huge Statue of Liberty play at the end of the game. If you haven't seen that, Google it, because it is actually one of the best plays I've seen. But that actually I think would bring it to a different level. Where teams could actually think that they make it. There's a potential now that even, with those 4 teams coming in, that 2 or 3 undefeated teams aren't even going to make it. So
interesting. So we're going to stick with football. Coming up after a short commercial break is going to be Michael Downing, who is killing it, beast mode at the moment for Vegas Lions safety. So stay tuned for that.
Thank you.